And when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hanging on his hand, they said amongst themselves, "No doubt this man is a murderer, who, though he had escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffered not to live." And he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm. Side effects. No side effects. This passage of scripture, Paul, all through the scripture, Paul been shipwrecked, been beat. He had to get to Rome. He had to talk to King Agrippa. All this was for Paul to get to Rome. But when he finally survived the shipwreck, and the angels told him no harm will come to him and the crew, he finally got some peace and some rest. And they were building a fire, and Paul met these natives from Naphtali, and they was coming, and it was cold, so he had built a fire. And they was sitting down relaxing, and in the fire, snake jumped out and bit Paul on the hand. And Paul shook the snake off, and they was watching Paul to see if he was going to swell up and die. See what's going to happen to him. And when you get bitten by a snake, you're going to swell. You're going to get a fever. You're going to start vomiting. That's the side effects of being bitten from a snake. And ultimately, you will die if you don't get the poison out of your system. Because back then, I'm sure they didn't have no antidotes. So when that viper, that venomous beast hang on his hand, he got bit. But you know, they sat down and they wait to see if Paul would die. And after, the scripture say, after a long period of time, he suffered no harm. The same thing you got to deal with in your life by being bit. Because sometimes in life, when you finally came through, do you notice when you had the worst time and you want to get some rest, that's when the devil rises up? Don't they always come out the heat of your life? See, I tell people we living with side effects. I'm still living with side effects of what happened to me. I'm still living with side effects of losing my job, losing my marriage. I'm dealing with side effects. That's why when folk get abused at 5, they still ain't right at 50 or 25. Because you know what? They live with side effects of what happened to you. Some people have been incarcerated for a long period. You're still dealing with that side effect. You come with that same mentality. You don't know how to release it because you know what? You took a dose of something. And see, trauma, loss, death, divorce, anger, it will leave you with a side effect that you got to fight with the rest of your life. You know why the psychiatrists always go to sit you on the couch and find out what happened to you? Because you got to, first of all, you got to find out what pill you took, what bit you, what caused you to feel that way. Some people who've been abused when they were a child, they can't deal with relationships. And they deal with the side effect of not having their father, not having their mother. Some of us right now are dealing with side effects of what happened to us. That's why there's something wrong with us. I'm dealing with side effects. And I might not have been abused, but guess what? You know why I tell people, you know why I got 100 pair of shoes in my house? Because when I was little, I had hand-me-downs. I couldn't buy shoes. I couldn't have clothes. So you know why I buy a pair of shoes? Because I couldn't have it. Now, usually a man don't have 100 pair of tennis shoes or 100 pair of shoes, but because I was living in lack when I was younger, that was my side effect. Oh, that's why I ain't chasing that. People, every time I meet a new person, you ain't married? No. Why? Why you ain't married? You're a pastor. I said, it's a side effect. I ain't in no rush. It's just a side effect. I've been there, dog. I got bitten. Not saying I'm a cured. But God had to suck out the poison in my life. Some people are being abused because it's a side effect. A drunk, if your parents was an alcoholic, you got to fight the side effect of what your parent did as long as it ain't in you. If you've been going through abuse, you're going to find somebody who love is abuse. Anger, you're going to marry what oppressed you. Because that's what the doses you took. And see, sometimes you got to figure out God is not going to leave you with side effects once he delivers you. When God heals you, he heals you from the guttermost to the uttermost. Paul had to deal with some things, and he got bitten. And sometimes when you get bitten, let me say this, you're going to get poisoned. Some of us are right now poison of our past. And you ever see the commercials and they got Val this and Band-Aid tracks and this tracks. And you ever see the pharmaceutical commercial and you got allergies, right? And here's the commercial. Well, and one commercial, they dancing. You got allergy problems? Take Valnex. And he dancing around. Then they say, Valnex may cause, for your allergies, Valnex, it may cause headache, diarrhea, kidney problems, rectal bleeding, in some cases, loss of life. But take Valtrex or Vistrex, and you'll be feeling fine. How many side effects you got for that one pill? So what happened if someone talked about you when you was a child or abused you while you were a child? How many side effects you got to live with for the rest of your life? From one pill, you get many more side effects that God got to heal you from. And this is the trick of the enemy. He'll make you fight the side effects and not fight the problem. And see, we're so busy fighting side effects of what happened to us, we don't want to deal with the problem with us. And that's what you got a lot of situations going on in your life. Don't think that certain things didn't happen to me and I don't carry no side effects with it. Don't you know when you've been through a trauma situation, you're scared to jump into it anymore? When that snake jumped out and bit Paul in the hand, and let me say this, the problem I had with this whole scene, where everybody was sitting down the fire and they watching Paul get bitten by a snake. And when you know fire comes, when he comes in your life, that's when the devil attacks. The devil always attacks when you finally got a break from one thing. See, he just came off a shipwreck. Just swam to shore. Have you ever said you just finally paid this bill off, or you finally got through this situation and then something blow up right then and there? When the devil comes in like a flood. Soon you get out one situation and you finally sit down and say, look, whoosh, I got a break. And you're trying to get yourself together, get your composure, get your credit back. Then something else break down on you. The washing machine break down, the oven break down, the car break down. And then you got to fight. That's when the snake, the devil, will jump out when he at your weakest moment, when you're trying to get some rest, so he can surely kill you. Because he didn't get Paul in the shipwreck, but he tried to get Paul when he finally got to shore. And you think sometimes when you get to shore, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Guess what? The snake waiting for you. If the sharks didn't get you, the snake is getting you. But you ain't going to have no side effects. So when it hung on his hand, the problem I had with this, they saw the snake hang on Paul's hand. Why didn't nobody help beat him off? Why didn't nobody help Paul to get it off him? You know how folks see you going through some trouble, they don't even help you get out. They said, oh, we know he had a shipwreck. He must be a murderer. They start talking about you when you get to... Don't lift a finger, but they'll lift up their mouth. They lift up their mouth against Paul without nobody trying to beat the snake off of him, nobody trying to help him. They sat down and wait to see him die. And don't you know what they'll sit here and wait to see you die? They'll talk about you. Oh, surely he must have been a murderer. Because even though he survived the sea, when he got the land, vengeance caught up with him. Whatever he did caught up with him. And sometimes it's not because Paul did something wrong. Yeah, he murdered some folk, but God forgave him for that. He had to get to Rome. And sometimes we think the devil did it. The devil attacked me. Yes, he is. But here, oh, I did something wrong. I deserve this. Living in guilty. I'm a bad person. We all bad people. We all did something wrong. We all guilty of something. But it's not always because you did something. It's what you got to get to. The devil won't stop you from getting to your destiny. He had to get to Rome. The devil didn't stop him for what murdering people. The devil didn't care about him murdering people. The devil murdered people. But he cared about him blessing people. He cared about him preaching the gospel. The devil will never fight you on what you do. If you smoke, drink, do weed, shoot up, the devil is not going to fight you for that. But I dare you hand out a Bible tract. I dare you start preaching the gospel. I dare you start counseling people and trying to help folk. Matter of fact, I dare you start trying to eat right. I dare you stop cutting back on stuff. The devil, anything good, the devil going to stop you from doing. Because you know what? He wants you to live with the side effect of your hurt. For a while, I was living for what side effects? When I went through my situation, I was cursing every woman I see. Anybody who knows my story, don't blame me. If you know my story and all the hell I went through, you wouldn't blame me. And you know what? Right now, I should have some side effects. I should be angry. See, they want to see, when you get bit, they want to see the side effect of your anger. They want to see your brokenheartedness. They want to see bitterness. They want to see the side effect of what happened to you when you went through some trouble. But you know what the blessed thing is? When you can walk around and folk don't even know what you've been through. You probably been dealing with. Some people say, "Oh, I used to be a drug addict." Really? I used to be an alcoholic. Really? It don't show on you. Because you know what? God didn't give you no side effect. You ain't bitter. Somebody divorced you. Somebody left you. You lost your job. You ain't broke. You still got your house. You have no side effect. Paul. Did not have a side effect of the snake biting him, because the Bible said it was a venomous beast. He should have swelled up. You should have swelled up with anger. You should have swelled up with bitterness. You should have swelled up with low self-esteem. You should have swelled up and died. And that sometimes it's not physical death, it's mental death. You ain't some people right now, they've been hurt before. I had people come to me and cry to me when we go to counseling. Pastor, you don't know what this man did to me. You don't know what this woman did to me. And when they tell me their story, I say, let me give you one better. They telling me, she don't talk to me. She don't speak to me. She said this and he said that. I look at them and I'm like, and y'all have problems? Oh, that's easy to be fixed. You don't understand. Oh, let me tell you. What happened to me, this happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me. And they look at me like I'm crazy, and I still love them in the love of the Lord. They say, how? Because I ain't have no side effects. Let me say this, and I'm being transparent. Do y'all remember ever, most of the people in this church, if you ain't been here for a long time, do I look like I ever had a relationship? Don't I walk single, talk single, look single? Do you ever thought I ever been? When me and Deacon John hanging out, they don't know, we carry this bachelor look. Why? No side effect. You can't tell I lost my job. There's no side effect. Some of us have been through some stuff when we were young. Some have been on abuse. You can't tell. Some have been on drugs. Can't tell. Some of us been incarcerated. Can't tell. Because there's no side. Some folk wear their hurt. Have you met people that wear their hurt? They walk hurt. They look hurt. When you meet them, they hurt. They tell you, soon you meet them, what's going on with them. I meet people all the time. They tell me, man, I was abused. Why are you coming out your friend? I just met you. Why you tell me about your abuse? Because you got a side effect. And you know what? I have family members who never could move because one person hurt them. One person, one bad decision can mess your life up, and you can have a side effect on that. Let me say this. We all blew it. We all did stuff dumb. You know what helped me when I had a pregnancy scare when I was out there clubbing? I had a side effect.